Hey there, how are you? Happy March 12th. How are you? I'm trying to get in there. It's hot here in Texas. So it feels like 80 outside, but feels like 87 indoors. So forgive me if I didn't do my hair, it's soaking wet. I thought I'd keep it that way to keep me cooler and everybody else awake. How are you? It's been a long time since I've been on this channel, and I miss it. But I wanted to talk about a lot of things that have been happening lately, especially to myself and a few other people that I know, um, personally, professionally. It's been a long haul since the end of 2025. And then we had the red blood moon on March 3rd, my birthday. I'm a Pisces. Um, go through our sign, and we had an eclipse, a lunar eclipse, and then in February we had the solar eclipse, and it took my breath away. It really really did because my father passed away on my birthday. So that was like a didn't expect that. And then I found out some other people in my family were very ill and not doing so well. So this lunar eclipse kind of took the breath, the everything out of us. 1 minute he's okay, and the next minute he's got pneumonia. 24 hours later, that was it. And that's what eclipses do. And we take it for granted when we're living our daily lives. And I'm trying to get comfortable so you can see me better. Sorry. And that's what eclipses do. They come in, they take care of what they have to take care of. It's not like they no longer serve us. It's just their way of saying, okay, this way of life, or this life that we had with these people were so wonderful, but now it's time for you to take three giant steps ahead, almost like a mother may I, and move forward, and say, okay, um, I guess this is what's going to happen. And I've been do you know, at first I was in shock, and then I thought, okay, you know, um, it really wasn't once I found out that there were several people that passed away that weekend. And also in the eclipse, you know, eclipse in the sun, and then there was our lunar eclipse on my birthday, and the blood moon, the full moon. So eclipses come in, and everything was great. I talked to my father like during the football game in February, and then 2 weeks later, he was fine. And then the lunar eclipse happened, and like they say, the one eclipse comes in to make you manifest and bring about what's new, and then the lunar eclipse comes in and says, okay, we're going to take what's not necessary anymore. And he was almost 80, by the way, everybody. So but we didn't. He wasn't even sick, so it was just a little odd. I do, however, I am so excited to be here today, and I do want to talk about um, something that has been giving me excitement, and I just brought up my notes because I take notes on everything, even if I'm not on YouTube. I want to talk about Jupiter going direct on the 10th, which is optimism, expansion. And we've had Jupiter for a long, long time, in retrograde, as well as now we have Mercury retrograde, which will go direct here soon, um, right around OSTARA, which is our spring equinox. And then, Jupiter wants us to take control and, find the things that make us go ahead and have ambition and start new beginnings. And that was something that was really important to me because my parents were always in, you know, that way where, one road ends, you go on another road and you keep trucking on. And that's what we need to do. Jupiter's ambition, wealth, what we wish about, we bring about, what we manifest for ourselves. And this is great because this just happened, and I'm so excited for that. Um, Positive beginnings, positive new outcomes for all of us, especially for myself. I'm on spring break. I'm a teacher, so I'm on spring break with my family. But the thing is that's really, really important is when Jupiter goes direct, it brings out the ambitions in all of us to want to go ahead, to build strength, to build, all these things that we really think that we're having difficulty with, and then all of a sudden that retrograde is gone, or you know the planets are going direct, and we also have a stellium, at least in my sign. I have 5 planets in a stellium right now. 3 or more is usually a stellium, which is where the planets are all direct or on alignment, kind of like the star card in the tarot. The planets are all in alignment there in the star card, and she's got 1 foot on the land and 1 foot in the water, and we're bringing about what the planets want us to go forward with. And I believe that's just so important. You know, um, Mercury is still in retrograde, and will go direct on the 20th. Um, March has a lot going on this year. I mean, it's almost as much as big as it was a year ago, and where everything just went totally chaotic there for a while. Excuse my phone. I'm not going to get up and answer that. But with with all of that going forward, we also have Jupiter making a trine. Okay, in March, and it's going. The astrological year is going into Aries, which starts also on the 20th. So we have a lot going on with spring equinox, which I'm sure a lot of us will be celebrating, myself included. And we're here to discern what we're going to do with ourselves, how we're going to take action, how we're going to move forward in the astrological, aka pagan year. For those of us who are spiritual or pagan or astrologers, it's a big deal because we're turning another hinge in the wheel of our world, of our year that we celebrate, of our families, and the things that go on. So I wanted everybody to think positive today. I wanted to talk about also how Aries now has Saturn and Neptune going into it, and how things are going to dramatically change because Aries is ruled by Mars. Mars doesn't sit around and go. Boom, boom, boom. Mars is a fast moving planet, and so things are going to pick up between now and the beginning of May. Things are going to pick up really fast. It is going to get to the point where all of a sudden things were going slow, and then things are going to start happening. Job offers, changes, job losses, moving, new relationships, old relationships ending, new children, people giving birth, um, uh, people finding new jobs, positive outcomes, new things coming into our lives. We're like, what? Like, can I have a VA, please? And it's gonna keep going faster because we're no longer in Pisces with Saturn and Neptune in there now. They've moved a long time ago in February. They made that change on February 17th. So again, we're going to be moving now that we're going through the spring equinox, and those things are going to be changing for us after this blood moon. We're going to be going into a much faster, much accelerated life experiences as we're moving forward. So today's reading, I just wanted to actually focus on some positive aspects and maybe some things that we can all do moving forward. This is a general reading for those of you who have seen me in the past. Um, I have tried in the past to do each sign, but then, you know, it takes longer for that. And I would prefer if everybody would just have a general reading and then give me a call or text me, come through me through YouTube or my YouTube channel, which is Dana's Celtic Worlds. And that is my favorite goddess, and that's why I named it that. My name is Kate. So I'd love to do reading for you, or I also work through Hypsy, which is hypsee.com through Dano's Celtic Worlds. And you can schedule a meeting with me for a reading or just a 3-card reading or a full family reading. That's all up to you. Or you can contact me through my YouTube channel, which I'm also updating as well. And I will be also working on getting a television station on my channel as well, so that I can broadcast weekly on all of the astrological changes during the week for each sign. And then when I do a reading, I can focus on each sign individually for each person individually. So here we go. I'm going to be going into my trunk, which is right here. I have all my cards in here. I have to get another trunk. I'm running out of room. I've got about 18 decks, and I swear I can't get enough of it. So today I'm going to be working on my dragon crystal dragon deck. I am going to pull 3 cards, and then if there are any questions that I feel that need to be answered, I'll grab another deck, and we'll elaborate on that with another deck to get clear answers. Thank you. So I always cover cards with crystals after I've blessed them and cleansed them. I hope everybody's having a good spring break. If you're not a teacher and you're working, I'm sorry. I don't miss the corporate world at all. I've been teaching for 22 years, so I love living and working with the community and families and building stronger families and community. Hopefully, I can hear from all of you soon. It would be my pleasure to work with you and inform you, not just astrologically, but as a life coach or a spiritual coach, which I have licenses for. I have a master's degree in education and a doctorate degree in education, special education. And I am also a spiritual consultant and a holistic nutrition and holistic nutritionist. So I've been in school for quite some time. And I would love for those of you that have any questions to let me know. If you have anything you'd like to talk to me about, you can send me a private message or you can contact me. This deck is not working for me, so I'm going to go like this because this is just, there we go. It's being a toughie today. I was working with them all morning during the reading, just fine. And then a couple other desks I'm working with. And usually I'll know when we're ready, when the deck says no more. Okay. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, we've got the Page of Cups. And the Page of Cups is a messenger. Also, she is normally a younger person, or he would be a younger person who is practicing their studies. and working on improving and working on their intuition. Page of Cups would be a water sign, Cups, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Spirituality, astrology, intuitive, empathy, sensitive, young sensitive. Pardon me, I'm going to take some. Oh, this is my kitty cat cup. I have cats. My babies are sleeping right now. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, working on, intuition, subconscious. I know for me, I get a lot of downloads when I'm sleeping or when it's really quiet and everybody's left the house, the kids have gone, animals quiet. I get a lot of downloads through that, and when I'm sleeping or relaxing and meditating. Um, this young child or young adult as a rich inner world, working on their healing and bring about a deeper understanding of who they are. Let me see if I can get that so it's not got that glare. I apologize. I wanted you to see me. That's why the lights are on. Working on a deeper meaning and understanding of who they are and having an understanding of the compassion and love and love for nature and animals as they would like to in the world as they go deeper in the world. There's also a person who has their fish in a cup. You can see here. Oops, sorry, this side. Right there, she does have her fish in a cup, just like in the traditional Rider-Waite, just more modern. And looking for answers, looking for where to go, ready to move on, ready to love, ready to understand, ready to step into new consciousness, new spirituality, new love, new career. It's almost like the excitement of the Fool, but from a water sign perspective, okay, with relation to relations we have with other people and community and the relationships that we build with others. So if we're an individual that is working on with other people, whether you work in a business, you own a business, or you work in education, such as myself, or you're a psychiatrist, a psychologist, um, social worker. This card would probably connect with you because you're working with other yourself and other people and the people around you within the community, building stronger relationships and also building relationships between other communities to make their community stronger, as well as understanding who other communities are for yourself, for your personal growth and personal spirituality, to move forward as we are with Jupiter, who has just gone direct, to be ambitious, to have better spirituality, to move further in our spiritual consciousness, to be more ambitious and outgoing and be more successful and get the abundance that Jupiter wants us to have. Okay. The moon is going to be conjunct with Jupiter right now, and this is the universe saying, Jupiter saying, even if you're not paying attention to it, Jupiter's saying, no, I want you to have this. Hey, here, take $20. Here, I want you to have that. I want you to be successful. Oh, you need this? Yeah, I want you to take this class. I want you to be successful. You might want to look for those signs with the people that you're working with or the people that are in your life right now, because it will build for this coming week or so. It's going to get stronger, and it's probably going to be going through the beginning of May. It'll go especially through OSTARA Spring Equinox, and I want everybody to pay attention to that because there's a lot of things happening. We're going to be having the equinox. We're going to be having a lot of changes with Aries. Aries starts. It's going to the astrological year is going to start. We're going to go and have new directions in society. I want also everybody to please pay attention to what's going on, which we already are, and don't stress yourself out. But there is going to be a lot of, and it's already happening. And I spoke to this, my family, sorry about the glare, about what's going on with Iran and the bombing of the ships over the ocean. I said, I know this is happening because Jupiter is not only the original ruler of Pisces, not any longer, now it's Neptune, and now Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, but Jupiter was always first Pisces ruler, the original ruler. And don't you know, we've had a lot going on over the seas this past week or so. We need to be cautious about that. And I'm going to be also cautious in if we get an air sign, if we get swords, which is our air sign, which is wands, because I'm an air sign because we're getting a lot going on where there's just so many people getting hurt or killed, in battle in the air. So I want everybody to be cautious about this and walk your ground, walk your sacred ground, curate your space, sacred space, make sure that you're aware of where you're going and what you're doing, and please keep up with the times because I want everybody to be conscious and subconsciously aware of the rich world around you. Healing, that's something else and myself that I have to work on as well, is healing through these times. Some of us have lost people, and some of us, you know, have our own personal healing to do, and keep a deep connection with yourself. Take a walk in nature, meditate, pay attention to your dreams. Keep a dream journal. Um, Make sure that you keep up with your spirituality. If you meditate, you pray. Everybody's got something different that they do. Whether you're spiritual, um, practice Catholicism or paganism. I have a mixture of clients like that. Myself, I'm spiritual and pagan, so that's more me. So I'm more of a chakra, out in nature, meditation, sacred space, yoga, um, you know, grounding myself and grounding my family and trying to eat as healthy as we possibly can holistically and within the means of everybody in the home because everybody wants something else to eat. I feel like I'm going grocery shopping for like three different people all the time. So that is the Page of Cups. Page of Cups is walking through the new world. She's empathetic. She has spirituality. She's into astrology. She's self-aware. She's keeping in touch with the rich world. She has the message from the fish and the cup here, and I want you to be aware of that because she's getting messages. What messages are you getting? A lot of people are getting messages this time of year, especially if you're a, a mixed sign or a mutual sign, mutual being Gemini, Sagittarius, Pisces, there's fixed signs, cardinal signs, and mutual signs that are getting a lot of messages. The veil is really thin at this moment, by the way. So between now and the new moon that we have coming on the 18th, between that and the 20th, which is OSTARA, it's Spring Equinox, when the day and night are equal. Um, Pay attention again to your dreams, keep dream journal, pay attention to your psychic mediumship abilities. Family members might be trying to contact you, or maybe you'll get messages. I tend to get feathers and coins, and I'm very clairaudient. I'll hear voices, and I'll be like, "Okay, Dad," like I hear your voice. And then sometimes some people are clairvoyant. I've had that happen as well too several times. And I'll see somebody and I'm like, okay, well they're visiting me for a reason. Let's think about that. So everybody keep up with that. This is a very spiritual card. This individual is beginning a true path through their spirituality, through their intuitive abilities, through their magical journey, and through learning to understand their own subconsciousness, understanding their sensitivity and their intuitive astrological abilities, and astrologically what is going on with them within the confines of today's world. Fast and furious. Our next card. Oh, jeez. The Two of Wands. Two of Wands. But this card, I love this card because this all has to do with the mind. And with the Two of Wands, normally in this card with the the crystal dragon tarot deck, in this card they don't have the traditional like the Rider Waite where the young lady is crossing her hands with the Two of Swords because she's questioning herself and making sure she's making sound decisions. Okay, meditating, and then there's the ocean or the river behind her, which is her emotions, and the mountains, which is the earth, which is the material world, the business world, health, how we live our lives. You know, um, with the swords, it's all about our mind, how society works, how society sees us. And she's got the Two of Swords, and she's got a cross, and she's thinking about what's my next move. What I want to say is, and I heard this not too long ago. Nothing is going to move positively for you if you don't move at all. Because if you don't move at all, there's no action. So take your move day by day with the Two of Wands. Be cautious, like the Two of Wands, taking a step. Swords rules the mind, mental ability, intellect, okay, awareness, okay, our ego, our self, our sense of self, and how we see ourselves and how others see us in our own mind, the way we think we look to other people. Kind of like the first house in your ascendant. But we're not that first house because really in our private lives, we're the moon, right? And in our sun house is when we're born. So I want you to think about that. How do you feel about your sense of self and conflict as the Two of Swords has here? Tread slowly, and as you tread slowly, be cognizant of the around you and keep yourself aware. Take mental notes, go home, jot them down in case you forget them. We all forget things because our life is so fast paced and ever going that, you know, 100 things can happen in a day. And then we go, what happened at 10 o'clock this morning? So make sure if you need to take those notes down, I carry a sticky pad with me sometimes, or a little notebook pad even in my pocketbook. So if something comes up, I write it down. With the Two of Swords, she is aware of herself. She's aware, she's conscious about how society sees her. She's self-conscious about herself and how she thinks the world sees her around her. She has emotions behind her. She has earth behind her. Pardon me. My throat is so dry. And she is looking at her ego and discerning her options and discerning how she feels about her decisions, her mind, her health, her wealth, her well-being, her life, the way she lives, and how others see her and perceives her and how she perceives herself. So with that said, we're going through, that's how this goes. I've got the Page of Cups. She's walking in there, she's growing, and she's thinking what she's going to be doing with herself. And all that's about her. Sorry. Now we have the Four of Wands. What is it that you see within yourself. Sorry. The Four of Wands is stress, for sure. So sorry. Stress. Um, Feeling like you need to take time to relax, take a break from reading, from studying, from work. I'm enjoying that this week because I'm on spring break, and spending time with family is always fun and relaxing, as long as you take time to for sacred space. That would be my outlook on this card because she's the young man's looking in the mirror, but he doesn't see himself. He sees someone else pointing at him, saying, "Check yourself." Right? Check yourself. We want to make sure that we're checking ourselves and what we're doing. Okay, the Four of Wands is completely interested, and I'm telling you right now, I just love this card because everybody's like, "Oh no, you know, the Four of Wands is so bad." No, it's the four. You've got the of Wands making a big step in there for you. What does Wands mean? Wands typically means career, ambition. He's studying. You know, it's fire sign. It's doing all the things that we you know want to do. The Four of Wands is also making you look at yourself. And the key word for me is in this picture, the Four of Wands is looking, hey, you're looking in here, now look at yourself. But the Four of Wands really wants you to do is instead of actively waiting on everything, a constant motion, I want you to take great expansion and growth and taking on a leadership role, a relationship role. So he's doing the work, he's looking at himself, and the lady in the mirror is going, no, take a look at you. What are you doing yourself? Are you taking on a relationship role? Are you enjoying life? Is that all you're doing here? Work. Expansion and growth. It could be work, it could be relationship, it could be a leadership role. Sorry. It could be a leadership role. I'm trying to do that for you. It could be a leadership role, taking on leadership roles and keeping an eye on your future goals. So what he's doing, or he or she is doing, is that he's taking a look at what he's doing, and she's pointing the finger back at him and saying, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Active. Don't be actively waiting like the Four Swords. The Four of Wands normally does. Don't be actually doing that. What we want you to do is to be celebrating and figuring out how we're rejoicing, how are we being happy, how are we having freedom, how are we enjoying life. Are we taking on leadership roles? Are we taking on relationship roles and enjoying ourselves? That's important. All work and no play makes Jack a really freaking boring guy. Mhm. You have to have some relationship roles, some leadership roles, and then you have to have fun, have some entertainment. But the woman's looking at him and pointing at him. Yes, I need you to do this, but are you living life? The Four of Wands is a big symbol to me. Are you living life? Are you going through? Okay. Are you going through enjoyment? Are you going through excitement? Are you going to parties? Are you, you know, doing things in life that make you happy besides money, besides career, besides success? You know, are you going to celebrations? Are you spending time with your family? Are you spending time with friends? And so here's the thing that I think I believe I'm going to put this together now. Okay. Yes. So we have. I'm going to put these in a storyline like this. Hopefully you can see them because the light here is. I'm going to have to fix this light for y'all. Okay. So we have this page here. She's coming in innocently with her fish in her cup, giving her, you know, what are we going to do? You know, how are you going to do this? And you know what? I love that the Page of Cups is so playful because the one thing that we forget when we're in life, and I was thinking about that the other day because my son came home and I'm like, what did you do today? What did you do today? Did you have fun at work? Did you do anything? Did you guys go out? No, no. And I thought, why? Why? You know, um, you know, this is also to going out and adventure a, a little bit. And here's the thing: a little bit of these, each of these cards has, I want to call, a little bit of the personality of the Fool, and some of the cards all do. And if you take a look at uh, not the Wheel of Fortune, the World card, you'll see how the Fool, when it goes around the circle, it goes from a young man and through all the things that they do, away from the Fool to the man at the top. And I like how this kind of happens here because, and here, you know, she's going through life, she's learning her intuitive abilities, she's learning about the subconscious, she's learning about who she is, she's adventuring. She goes into the Two of Swords. She's worrying. Of course we are. We don't all know who we are when we're younger. I'm gathering the Two of Wands here. We don't know where we're going, right? The Two of Wands is just you're standing on a hill and you're going, okay, I guess I'm going to go that way. But when we first move out of the house, we don't know where we're going. We could say we're going to do this now, but you're going to change careers 5 times before you get there, right? Or you're going to move several times before you finally buy that house and, you know, have your 3 cars and motorcycles and your children and your wife and things of that sort. The Two of Wands stands on the hill and he or she is looking on where she wants to go, planning on where they want to go. Right? So that's so important. It's so special because she's moving from what I want to say this reading is about is from exploring and moving and getting intuition. From the Page of Cups, that little fish there going, hey, hey, kind of like the fish from Dr. Seuss. You should not do that while your mother's not home. No, you should not do that while she's not here. No, you shall not. And she's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to go explore. Right? Just the cat in the hat, right? Or, and then they get to this stage where we have the Two of Wands and we've done some exploring. And now we're going, okay, where do we want to go next? Where are we going to explore next? We're standing at a precipice, and now we're going to see where we're going to move forward. Then we have the Four of Wands, and they said, okay, you've been working. There are going to be some celebrations and some moving forward, and some times ahead where you are going to enjoy life. And I'm trying not to put my hands on the card so you can see it. It's just so beautiful. Yeah. So you have the adventure that starts their new lives. And I believe this gear reading was nothing I planned, but I believe this has to begin with the center card, which is where are we going? Are we just starting, or are we just finding ourselves? Whether you're young or you're older, you don't have to exactly know where you're going when you're younger. I know some people didn't find their niche until they were in their early 40s, and then now they own big companies, but it took them, you know, 20 years to figure out what they really love and then do that. You know, Two of Wands. Where am I going with this? Where am I going with this? Two of Wands normally stands up on the hill and says, I'm looking over the hill, and grabs his staff or her staff. Where are we going? What are we doing? And then that comes to, there are some whoever this may relate to, after going through all of this, there may be some celebrations in life. Maybe you've started out in life right here. You've discovered where you're going to be going in life and what you want to do with yourself and where you plan to be. And now there's some celebrations. It could be marriage, it could be babies, it could be Sabbaths, it could be celebrations as spring equinox comes near, and we're getting close to the new moon in Pisces, right? There's a lot of different connotations that can come from these cards based on your stage of life. But I'm gonna pull another card and see how we can elaborate on this. Okay. It is for sure allergy season. We have yellow everywhere. Oh my goodness. If I had $1 for every speck of yellow pollen on my car, I'd be so rich. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab another deck. Okay. And this is a deck of the Witches Medieval deck, but it has, and I've always have my decks covered with my precious stones. This one happens to be my chakra stone that I put here with my deck. Beautiful. And I always make sure that I cleanse them and with my incense. And then this one happened to be the crystal dragons deck, and that has my crystal in here that goes with that. So today I'm going to try to elaborate on our 2-card shuffle that we just did. So the Page of Cups. Oof. An adventure. Moving on. Fresh in life. New adventures. On to the Two of Wands. The Rider Cup, that's the man sitting on the hill, and he's got the 2 wands, and he's looking there, and the ship is adrift a ways with the mountains and the ocean there, with the river right there. Where am I going? What am I going to do? Where's my next step? I'm free to go. Last card we get to is the Four of Wands. Four of Wands is all about celebration. You started out your life. You've planned to get to a space where you found your ground. Now we're getting to celebration. I bet it's something wonderful because we're getting to spring equinox. Stara had this lunar eclipse, blood moon, full moon. What a whirlwind. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Okay. Not so bad. We got the three of wands, but it's in reverse. So whatever was, if there was a heartache in here, sorry, I hit the mouse. It's gone. It's going away. It's waning away. It's waning away. So whatever could have happened on that blood moon could have gone away, or because it's not present anymore. The Two of Swords is really particular. Okay, there is nothing about the or is it the Three of Swords? I'm sorry. Three of Swords. You know, the Three of Swords is nobody likes the Three of Swords. And the Three of Swords is normally heartbreak. I don't want to talk about the heartbreak, but it's heartbreak. It could be, you know, distraction, strife, but it's the delay in the heartbreak is gone. It's just the distraction, strife, delays. So all that happened with the full moon, the red blood full moon. Okay, it's waning away. It's healing. It's moving forward positively. It's a good thing. I like that a lot. So it's going slowly. It's moving away. We have a great new moon in Pisces. I'm really excited about it's gonna now that we're going into on the 20th after that after that new moon we're going to be going into Aries season. It's going to be astrologically Aries New Year. Saturn's going into Aries. Neptune's going into Aries. There's a stellium. This is all going to wane away. Okay? I want to elaborate. I believe this was for this card. You're on an adventure. You're starting out. Whatever it is, doesn't you don't have to be young. You could be starting on something and just starting a new job and you're 35 and then something happens and then you have to make decisions and you don't know which way to go and then all of a sudden things change and now you have exciting new things happening to you. But what's telling me is the Three of Swords is telling me this is gone. It's waning away. Distraction's gone. Okay. And now we have, to cover the Two of Wands, we have the King of Cups. The King of Cups can be Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. It could be a King of Cups is usually a man somewhere between 25 and older. Usually when it's 25 to 17, 18, I say that's the Page of Cups. And same thing with the young lady. But this is the King of Cups. He's an older man, a wiser man. He sees through everything. So there's no bullshit in this guy, okay? So if you decide you're just going to take it and not tell the truth, I suggest you don't do that. The Page of Cups upright is a very good man. Okay, he can see through everything. He has insight through seeing right through people and their lives. He sees a lot of things that a lot of other people don't see because Pisces are intuitive, psychic mediums. Most of us are. Many of us, I know, I have a lot of friends that are clairs, and they have dreams. They even I was even talking to a friend of mine who has the same birthday as I do, March 3rd, and I was like, oh come on, you don't believe in that stuff because he comes from a very strict Catholic family, and he's like, no 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 no, I have all that going on too. I'm very intuitive. He's like, I ran a business for 22 years, and I could walk in the room when I was running that company, and I could tell you right now who my employees were or are, and who I'm going to be getting rid of in a year or two. I was like, oh boy, I'm glad I didn't work for you. But it's associated with the element of water, cups, the emotions, relationships. He is coming in here when the decision of the Two of Wands. This is why I pulled this card for the decision for the Two of Wands. Where am I going? What am I doing? The Two of Wands is saying, okay, let me see where I'm going, because that's the man on the right of way that says, okay, I'm standing there. I'm going to watch where I'm going to be going, where I'm going to adventure. And the King of Cups is all about family, romance, love, right? Romance, love. He's a wise man, married man. He's versed in the craft of intuition, of working with his hands, of being wise. I wish I could get this better. I'm sorry. There you go. I'm going to get my camera under control. And he's a wise counselor. He's creative. He's got personality. He has serious gifts of intuition. And sometimes I feel like, even myself, I'm into this. Even myself, there we go. Even myself, when I talk to a lot of my, I want to say, water sign friends, I have to say, my father, who just passed away a week and a half ago, he was a Scorpio. Man, you could walk in the room and you could tell him whatever, and he would just like hand you a shovel and say, "You are so full of shit." He could point it out. Same thing with the Pisces, the King of Cups. He's creative. He's got personality. He's got wisdom. He's got experience in life. He's an older man. He's been there, done that. He's already made those decisions of the Two of Wands where he's going to go, and he's going to go there. He's going there. He's also someone who generally, for those of you, and it could be a female, doesn't have to be a male. It could be a female, masculine, female archetype. That's the same, Typically, the King of Cups is a Scorpio, and usually the Queen of Cups is Cancer. And then they're very, very, very psychic, very, very, very intuitive. So what I want to say is here, we started off with the Page of Cups, with the decision making. She makes a couple decisions, and all those things that she worried about, all the things that she was worried about are going away. They're waning away. He or she, doesn't have to be a she, he or she of the Page of Cups gets the Two of Wands, and they get to a place in their life, or getting to a place in their life at this current moment. Doesn't have to be male or female, where they're not sure where they're going to be going, but now they are sure where they're going, because now they have the King of Cups. This male or female has matured And now they know where they're going. They know where they came from. They know how hard they had to work to get there. The last card, shuffle this for you. And then I have some goodies for you. Oh, we have the Five of Wands. Okay, the Five of Wands. Anybody tell me the Five of Wands? But it's in reverse, which is great. Yay! The Five of Wands typically is people just squabbling and, see that this guy, we get to this guy where he's going to the party, he's going to have a lot of celebrations. But then the Five of Wands comes into play. So there might be some, if there's any partying, or I don't want to say partying, I don't like to say that because we're all mature adults. But if you're going to parties or mainly family celebrations, the Five of Wands normally comes up as maybe some petty squabbling, some arguments. Oh, you know what you did last year? You said this and that, and Barbara said this, and Michael said that, and John said that, and I saw I saw this, and it's just petty squabbling. You might you're gonna go from younger to heartache's gone, going away. We're finding decisions in our life. We found decisions. We're becoming successful, more wise, more creative, more manly, more stronger woman, stronger man. We found a way. We know our way. We're going to Now we're going to family parties and celebrations this time of the year, and we've got the Five of Wands, which is petty squabbling and petty arguments. That's going to go away. That never lasts. It's just kind of like, oh, I told you to go to Bensonhurst and buy that cake from the same bakery we got the cake from last year from this plain place Frank Sinatra boy's cake. Don't you get it? What's the matter for you? One of those things. And finally, I'm gonna pull a contender, and then we're gonna move on. And I have some goodies for you. This is my which is psychic tarot, and I'm gonna do real quick. I have so many decks. We're going to see what the final outcome is. Okay, what is the final outcome? And we're gonna look at that because what I want everybody to see is that there are so many things that we can have going on. And I'm going to just shuffle it. I'm going to go like this. Okay, the Hermit. I went into the deck. Some of you, from everything going on, from going from moving from going through the experience to finding out where we're going to be and growing it within ourselves, and then going to family parties and gatherings, which for sure many of you are going to be doing this month into next month. Not all of us celebrate Easter, but some of us do, who watch my channel. And then some of us also do Spring Equinox. And we have, again, the Astrological New Year in Aries and OSTARA and those celebrations for Spring Equinox, which is so much fun. Kids love them. We have the Hermit. Now, some of you might want to not have those celebrations, and some of you will, but this lady or gentleman, the Hermit, it could be either or, likes to take time away from others to discern, to contemplate, to meditate, to think about life and learn from lessons, and then foreshadow where they'd like to be and think about what they've manifested. Think about bring what they brought about because they thought about how they're going to either modify that, correct that, or enhance that for the future, or change that and make it better. Hermit does that. They like to kind of go into their meditation room and think and contemplate. There might be some of you. I'm going to do it again. I just want to see, make sure each one of you are having good end of the March month. But I'll be back tomorrow for our wonderful Friday. I love Friday the 13th. It's my favorite. It really is. I always have good luck on Friday the 13th. I know it's the hoopla about that nonsense, right? Come on. Ah!